Hello and welcome guys to live pictures from Auto Club Speedway. We're here in the Output Racing League, round number 3 for the Nexus Inspector 160 here at the Auto Club Speedway. Like we are just starting to get some cars into the pits now to get ready for a pit party as we see some shenanigans on pit road there. So sit back, relax, and get ready, guys. We are about to have a little bit of a demonstration on what these guys have learned in the first half an hour of practice here. Let's see what they've retained and whether or not they can do anything worth a crap. You see the cars lining up there at the end of pit road. They're starting to roll now. We should have just about everyone coming out onto the track. You see some new paint jobs in there, like the 56 there of Blake Tarwick, sporting a camo black and pink kind of thing, I think. Oh wait, no, there's a cow on there. There's Jaron Sanchez in the number 4, the 50 there of Christian Budd as well. Who we got at the front of this thing? TJ's name's up towards the front. I think we got Jonathan Hernandez somewhere towards the pole. Get Jonathan Hernandez on pole as we come down to get the green flag to start the pit party here. Horrible start there for TJ Crampton on the outside of the front row. At the moment, Travis Massier with the top time as Jonathan goes to the high line to arc it into the corner, get a better run, but he's going to have to deal with Blake Tarwick on his inside, just getting to that quarter panel before Hernandez could shut him down. At the moment here in practice, Travis Massier with a quick time, a 40.917. The times are very close to top 10, separated by 0.113 of a second. There's absolutely nothing as Jonathan Hernandez comes out and takes the lead. Oh, we got lots of stuff going on here. Oh my god, there is death everywhere. Everyone got tight and have just gone up and slammed the wall. Boomerang shoes in that one, Jordan Lee. A lot of people just getting very tight there on the corner exit. It'd be almost easier to tell you who was not involved. I can see Jonathan Hernandez still on track, Clayton Ward, Ryan Pizzakemi, and Cosman. I'm going to have to talk to Cosman about how to pronounce his last name there. Because I have no idea how to pronounce that. That's the driver of the 48 car, who I believe is just coming to the... Oh! He's just punted himself into the end of pit road. There he is on screen. So it looks like we've only got Brandon Bennett on track, back in his number 1 car. That's what I like to see. I think we're going to get racked and stacked here for another pit party, because this is actually the second failed pit party we've had. The first one we did just before the broadcast went live. I tried to join in on it, and yeah, everyone got loose and crashed instead of getting tight. So just a fair warning here, guys, as well. There might be a break in the broadcast at some point. We are just about to get hit by a pretty severe weather system at the moment. So things might go a little bit sideways for us here. Looks like we're going to have Jonathan Hernandez on the front row again. This time we're going to have Blake Tarwick on the outside. Oh, a 3 wide start there with Christian Budd on the extreme outside. That'd be interesting. We saw the 47 of Jordan Lee. Fu Manchu down on the apron. He's just dropping to the back. At the moment, the practice standings are Travis Massier, Charles Becker, Matt Burgess, Jaron Sanchez, and Jerry Glenn. Jordan Lee sneaking up there for a P6 so far. As we go back to some practice racing action. See the 74 TJ Crampton very aggressively getting down to that inside line. Tarwick on the outside is getting help from Christian Budd, but that outside on the very start here is not the best place to be. And Jonathan Hernandez clears, and we got 3 wide for P2 here with TJ Crampton on the inside. Now that's the battle for third. Got Brian Harris in the middle. Oh, and Christian Budd on the outside, and they've just been sent into the wall. That's a death for Brian Harris and for the 50 of Christian Budd. I think Frank Isaacson might have been involved in that as well. As we're going to go back up to the front of the pack here to see how things have been unfolding. Looks like we've still got the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez in the lead. 56 of Blake Tarwick still in P2 here, but we've also got a battle just behind these guys with the 20 car of Derek Myers. He's got Michael Sturgill on his inside. Just behind them, there's a battle between Thomas Harmon and the 90 car there. Actually, no, that is Sturgill. So Derek's got Cosman on his inside. My apologies. Cosman gets the advantage. That drops Derek back a little bit here. And everything's looking fairly cool, calm and collected here at the moment, as we're starting to get some faster times on the board. Brandon Bennett with the new top time, 40.778. Charles Becker P2. Jordan Lee's up to third. Cosman in fourth, and Matt Burgess down to fifth. Jaron Sanchez, after looking strong in practice so far, has dropped all the way down to 11th. We see them thundering into turn number 1 again. We've got some more battling going up just ahead here. I think I saw the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez involved in it. We did. TJ Crampton on his inside. TJ now trying to get to the inside of Blake Tarwick as well. And he's gotten it so far. Tarwick goes very high to let the field through. It's going to put TJ Crampton into the lead of the practice race here. And we're 3 wide for P2 with Derek Myers on the inside, Cosman in the middle, Jonathan Hernandez on the outside. That 20 car is coming right now. Michael Sturgill just behind him as well. 48 of Cosman there, doing his best to make that outside try and work. And it worked for him coming off turn 2. He's got the 20 car cleared. Dived it in deep behind TJ there. Just about contact, but not quite. And that actually balked Derek Myers enough that he's dropping back now. 3 wide in the middle. with Michael Sturgill and Jonathan Hernandez. Still 3 wide as they're coming into turn 1. Jonathan Hernandez backs out. The 20 car using that middle lane to his best advantage, taking back the 3rd position. And now we go 3 wide again just behind them, with Matt Burgess joining the fray. Jonathan Hernandez with the outside run takes the advantage. Matt Burgess trying to sneak up underneath Sturgill. It looks like he's managed to do it so far, although not that time across the line. Blake Tarwick moved up to behind Sturgill to try and push him to further their positions. Blake Tarwick's actually overtaken the top spot now with a 40.753. We see TJ Crampton at the very front of this pack, just weaving, trying to throw everyone off his draft. Doesn't look like it's worked though, as they go 3 wide for the lead. And apparently I've clicked on the wrong person. There we go. 48 of Cosman looking very strong here. 20 of Derek Myers just about got shuffled out of this battle. Oh, we got contact, door-to-door contact between Cosman and TJ. Here comes Derek through the middle again, and he has contact with Cosman. Now Jonathan Hernandez rejoining this battle, and just behind him is the 12 of Matt Burgess, who just disappeared into an alternate dimension. Big draft push there from the 20 car of Derek Myers onto TJ Crampton. That's going to get them two both up into 1st and 2nd. Jonathan Hernandez just sitting back there in 3rd. Another big push coming on the main straight. On the apron, that's a scary place to push. We saw there Matt Burgess just giving a quick little hurry up to Jonathan Hernandez as well. That's going to get Hernandez up onto the inside of Derek Myers. We got just under 13 minutes left in practice here, and these guys are still running like it's for the actual race. Now Jonathan Hernandez up on the inside of TJ Crampton. Can Hernandez take the position, or will Crampton be too strong there on the outside? We'll have to wait and see. Derek Myers, who is he going to pick? He's going to go with the outside line there, and in fact he's going to make it 3 wide. The very outside line does not look like it has an advantage. In fact, the 88 of Hernandez takes the lead, but he gets cut back by TJ Crampton, who's going to take the lead back coming out of turn 2. Crampton going all the way down to the inside to try and break the draft to the 12 car. And it's worked at the moment. Now here comes the 12 of Matt Burgess up on the inside of Hernandez. Oh, and Crampton's gotten tight. Derek Myers hit the wall. I think Crampton just scraped it as well. But now it's a battle between Hernandez and Burgess. But Crampton's still right there, up on the inside of Matt Burgess. Stuck his nose there in the last second. These guys are going at this hammer and tong. Absolutely frenetic action, and this is only in practice. Imagine what they're going to be like in the race. As now Crampton slips back and stays in 3rd. We got 4 wide just behind them, and that has turned into chaos. Oh, Tarwick and Myers absolutely killing the back half of the field there. Oh, as we see a car flipping there in the background, I'm not sure who that is. But lots of death to be had here at the moment. That was crazy. They tried 4 wide and it didn't work, although this track is wide enough for it to work. See Michael Sturgill still circulating. Still got the 12 circulating. TJ Crampton going all the way onto the apron there. Oh! And he got loose and into the wall. And now he's doing his best Tow Mater impression by driving backwards on the track. See how far he gets before the engine goes bang. fact, I think he's just rolling on the clutch. Come on, TJ, shove it in reverse. Show us what you got backwards. There we go. We got engine noise. Oh, that was someone coming out of the pits. We're still just watching TJ here, going backwards at the top of the track. I'm surprised he hasn't put it in reverse yet. I mean, he's still got engine because the engine's smoking. That's a telltale sign of engine damage, but engine's still going. Oh, and he stopped it. He got all the way around to turn 2 before he said, nah, no more of this. Out of the original pit party, we've only got about 5 or 6 people left. There's the 88 of Hernandez. Michael Sturgill just in front of him. Brandon Miller just up the road from them as well. Brandon Miller not a part of the pit party. Looks like Harmon and Bud are the other 2 cars. So we've got 4 cars left from the original pit party there. So the standings at the moment, before how I said that they were separated by 1,300 tenths. Well, that's just changed. The top 11 are now separated by less than a tenth of a second. So the top time at the moment is Blake Tarwick with a 40.753, and P11 is 0.096 of a second off him with a 849. Sorry, that's Derek Myers in a 20 car. As we have just under 8 minutes left in practice, we might see some practice qualifying runs coming up here. We could also possibly see, just some quick little short run practices as well. As these guys will be starting to get ready for qualifying. See the 1 of Brandon Bennett and the 50 of Christian Budd on screen. Big bump draft coming in there from Christian. Right down to that white line as we now see the 48. That's Cosman. I'm not sure what happened there, but he got loose and into the pit lane. That's an unsafe pit entry and a speeding in the pits. As it looks like Brandon Bennett got loose there. Christian Budd helping him just to go a little bit sideways as Brandon nowhere to go down to the pit lane. That'd be a speeding in pit penalty. So we've got 30 cars registered for the race as it stands right now. 29 will take the track. One of them is me. Strength of field at the moment is a 25.83, which is not a bad strength of field when you really think about it. But yeah, we got some 4K and 5K drivers in here. But we also have some guys with not so much. A couple of 19s in there, an 18. We've even got a 16 in there. So considering the field spread, not that bad of a strength of field in here. You see the 22, Brandon Miller, going up the inside of Blake Tarwick. Cosman was in there as well. I think that's Travis Massier on the outside. Just about went so high that he went into the wall. To see some of the guys rocking the new output banner on the top of the car there. Namely the 22 of Brandon Miller. There, Blake Tarwick, rookie to the league, but he's got the top time at the moment by 0.007 of a second over Charles Becker. Top 10 at the moment is Blake Tarwick, Charles Becker, Matt Burgess, Brandon Bennett, Michael Sturgill, Jerry Glenn, Jordan Lee, Christian Budd, TJ Crampton, and Cosman. Again, I will apologise to Cosman for not pronouncing his name. We've got 3.5 minutes now left in practice. These guys trying to work on their short to intermediate runs at the moment. Looks like we got a couple of guys just coming out of the pits. They could possibly be doing some qualifying simulation runs. It's hard to do when you've got so many drivers. It's all about finding that nice clean piece of track with no one around you, so it doesn't affect the time that you could be possibly doing. Two minutes left in practice. Will anyone knock Blake Tarwick off of the top of the totem pole? We'll have to wait and see. As we get a quick little top view here of some of the racing going on. So the 56 Blake Tarwick there going into the pits, practicing a pit entry, which is not a half bad idea. With less than a minute to go now, guys, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we should be just about getting ready to race with the drivers on the grid. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And we'll see you again here shortly. Alrighty guys, we're back. It's time for us to start going through our list of starters and drivers for the Nexus Inspector 160 from Auto Club Speedway here. On the pole, we're going to have Jonathan Hernandez, who had a blistering 40.962 second time. Without draft, that is pretty dang quick. On his outside will be the 20 of Derek Myers. Row 2 will be the 13 of Travis Massier. On his outside will be the 16 of Charles Becker. Then we're going to have the 44 of Clayton Ward. On his outside, starting in P6, the 2 of Chris Champeau. Then we're going to have the 74 of TJ Crampton out of 7th. And the 5 car of Mark Pentecoff with a great qualifying effort up in 8th. Travis Elliott in the 51 car will be starting from P9 with the 10 of the 50 of Christian Budd starting out of 10th. Christopher Spencer in the 101 will be out of 11th with the 98 of Jerry Glenn starting out of P12. The 24 of Frank Isaacson will be out of 13th. On his outside will be the 7 of Brian Harris. The 22 of Brandon C. Miller will be starting from 15th. And on his outside will be his teammate, the 1 of Brandon Bennett. Aspen Belvin in the 84 car will be starting from 17th. With the 12 of Matt Burgess on his outside in 18th. Michael Sturgill will be out of the 19th position there in the 90 car. On his outside, we will have Brian Pizzakemi. Then we're going to have the 38 of Thomas Harmon, the first of the non-qualifiers, starting out of 21st, with the 69 of Justin Botello out of 22nd. The 86 of Gerald West will be out of 23rd, with the 47 of Jordan Lee starting out of 24th. Cosman in the 48 car will be starting out of 25th, with the 4 of Jaron Sanchez out of 26th. Matt D. Horton in the 34 car will be starting from 27th, with the 18 of Brian Beach starting out of 28th. Then we're going to have Blake Tarwick in the 56 starting out of 29th. And to wrap out the 30th position in the 99 car, we're going to have Dustin German. So that's our starters and drivers here as we're getting ready to go green. Going to focus up on our leader, Jonathan Hernandez in the 88. Now remember the basic rules, guys. On the first start, we go on green. On every single restart after this, we go on the leader. As the pace car is in, the pace is starting to quicken.
Go, go, go.
Green flag's out. We're off and racing here for the... Once I get the right tab up, Nexus Inspector 160 from Auto Club Speedway. And already Jonathan Hernandez has cleared Derek Myers there on his outside. And here comes Travis Massier in the 13 as well. Travis is getting loose. Travis on the inside line there got very loose. He's dropped a ton of positions. As we see some 3 wide action, 4 wide action in some places. Almost 5 wide. This is absolutely crazy start to the race. As we see Travis Massier, he's dropped back to about, I'd have to render a guess of at least 11th or 12th there. We see the 44 just up in front of him as well, just tap the wall a little bit. That is Clayton Ward. But it looks like for the moment everyone has made it through the first lap, so let's go back up and check in on our leaders. Jonathan Hernandez with a strong lead right now, but he does have Derek Myers right there on his tail. After that, it's a bit of a crapshoot with who you're going to get. The 16 of Charles Becker has just dropped back to 4th. There's a 74 of TJ Crampton in front of him, and coming up on his inside is the 98 of Jerry Glenn. As we see some moves going on all the way through the field. The closest to the racing's up the front here. That's for sure and certain. But we'll just have to wait and see how things pan out here. We see the 101 of Christopher Spencer just take over the 5th position there from Charles Becker. Here comes the 2 of Chris Champeau as well, looking to get up on the inside. As I heard someone just tap the wall there, I'm not sure who that was. There's no damage on the 88, no damage on the 20. That must have been someone else from down the field here. Not sure who it could have been, no. There's just so many cars in the front area here. Hard to know where to look at. So we're going to trust iRacing here. We're going to set it to focus on crashes. Maybe it'll show us some stuff going on here. We can see the 24 of Frank Isaacson there on screen. There's the 50, the 90, the 1. So many cars in this little area. New paint job there for the 24 car. And it's much the same of his regular paint job, but this one's got chrome all over it. Looks absolutely fantastic for Frank Isaacson. In his own right, Frank is one hell of a graphic artist. He's been making the thumbnails for all the YouTube videos lately. We see the 86 of Gerald West there in the middle of the pack, experimenting with different portals to different alternate universes, trying to gain some speed out of one of them. Not working at the moment, as we see the 78 of Brian Pizzicami on screen. But some of these guys at the back here just taking their time, just coming through the pack ever so slowly. One of which being the 69 of Justin Botello. Out here at the back trying to go around the outside of the Fu Manchu himself, the 47 of Jordan Lee. And Justin Botello's down as the 69 car. We saw that he had a paint on it before, but Trading Paint's kicked in and has put it back to his custom paint, the 20. We see Jabo now trying to work his way up the inside of Brandon Miller. He's on the back of Dustin German as well. But all seems fine for now, as we're going to go back up to the front of the pack, see how things are going here. Jonathan Hernandez still holding on to about 0.3 of a second lead over Derek Myers. Eric has about another 0.5 over the 3rd place car of Jerry Glenn. Looks like Jerry and Christopher Spencer there. Actually no, it's Jerry and Chris Champeau there working together a little bit. Christopher Spencer just in behind both of them. Just behind these three, we're going to have the 12 of Matt Burgess. There's a 44 of Clayton Ward, TJ Cranton in the 74. And I think that's a 7 of Brian Harris in here as well. Brian Harris has really been improving this season. No longer is he Danica Speed. He's got a podium. That's something Danica Patrick could never do in NASCAR, was get a podium. Looks like behind these guys is where the battle is at the moment. Got the 1 of Brandon Bennett in there. There's the 13 of Travis Massier, although these guys have just gotten themselves sorted out. We've got the weather playing havoc with the broadcast here, making all the cars disappear. We're going to set the cameras here to focus on crashes. We're going to open up the driver radio here, see what these guys are talking about. We've got Charles Becker in the 16 on screen going around the outside of the 24 of Frank Isaacson. Got Thomas Harmon up there as well. There's a 56 of Blake Tarwick and a 90 of Michael Sturgill. Got a lot of movers and shakers right now. The biggest mover will be Matt Burgess, who started down in 18th. Worked his way up to P6. The biggest loser right now would probably have to be Charles Becker. Started up in 4th, now down to 21st. So that's a big jump for Charles Becker. We're still looking at the 86 of Gerald West here. We'll focus on the 24 of Frank Isaacson there for a second. But no caution so far in this 80 lap race. We've got 10 laps completed. We're working lap 11 now. See a big move there for Frank getting on the inside. We've got 3 wide now. TJ Crampton on the outside. I think TJ might have gotten a little bit tightened into the wall. So he just started to drop very quickly as we go 3 wide again. There was contact with the 78 of Brian Pizzicami. I think the one who got him was the 99 there of Dustin German. So we almost had a minor disaster. Look at these guys. Fanned out across the back straight. We're only 2 by 2, but it looks so much more dramatic than that.
I hate this package.
As we got some, one of the drivers there talking about his displeasure for this package. I don't blame him. It looks like these guys have gotten themselves sorted out now, so we're going to go back to focusing on crashes. And we go back to the 24 of Frank Isaacson. Such a pretty looking paint job, that Frank Isaacson car.
Yeah, you can go behind me.
Let's go and focus on Frank here for a second and just really appreciate the way his car looks, how beautiful this car is. I mean, that is seriously a fantastic looking paint job. And as always, he's got Autism Speaks on the car, trying to bring out the autism awareness, which is always very well received here in the Output Racing League. As now we move back up further in the pack, just in front of Frank here. We've got some battles going on. The one of Brandon Bennett trying to work on the inside of the 7 of Brian Harris. Got Thomas Harmon in here. Got Blake Tarwick. There's a 13 of Travis Massier. The 50 of Christian Budd. 90 of Michael Sturgill. The 86 of Gerald West. Into the 18 of Brian Beach is in here as well. Here they come through turn 2. Big pack of them. So what I'm starting to wonder now is how long until we see our first caution, if we do see one. And if we don't, how long until these guys start thinking about green flag stops? Because the green flag stops couldn't be too far away. We run a 40% fuel and tyres here. We'll just have to wait and see how this is going to unfold for these guys. We're not going to commercial break until we do see either a caution or green flag stops. We see the 20 there, Justin Botello, worked his way up to the 16th position now. Justin, who elected not to qualify and started in the back, worked his way in front of Frank Isaacson. Went from 22nd to 18th, so it's only a jump of about 4 positions. But he was mired down further back in the pack early on. We see the 3 team cars there. The SSR boys. The 86 of Gerald West, the 99 of Dustin German, and the 18 of Brian Beach. Speaking of Gerald West, just about trying to make it 3 wide on the inside, settles for the middle instead. So I try and find the right button to press. Doesn't look like he got it. Christian Budd with the big block there on the inside line did not want Gerald West to take that position whatsoever. See the 18 of Brian Beach trying to help out Gerald West there. The 7 of Brian Harris giving Christian Budd a big push as they were going down the back straight, keeping him in front of Gerald West. But here comes Gerald. He's going to start battling back now, especially while he's got his teammate in the 18 on his tail. So we're going to go back to having a quick little look at our leaders. We've got 4 guys within a second of each other here. We've still got Jonathan Hernandez in the lead. Still got Derek Myers in P2, but Jerry Glenn has caught up to them. He is right on the tail of Derek Myers here. Chris Champeau leading the charging pack behind them. Got the 101 of Christopher Spencer in there as well. Another SSR driver. And now Jerry Glenn working to the inside of Derek Myers. Will he be able to get that position? Doesn't look like he can yet. Just looking at the moment, maybe sizing up his chances for later on in the race. Jerry, who had a very unfortunate end to the Daytona, not quite 500. Looks like for now though, these guys are still all just very settled. It's all calm and calculated up the front here. But here in the middle of the pack, it's all chaos. Oh. As Justin Botello with a huge outside block there on the 7 of Brian Harris. That could have very quickly turned very bad for him. You see the 78 there of Brian Pizzicami as well. Looks like TJ Crampton was the first one to pull the trigger on a pit stop. He's just starting to come out of the pits now. There he is. Although it looks like he might have had some damage. It was a 50.5 second stop. And he's gone 2 laps down. Now see the 4 of Jaron Sanchez trying to work his way through the field here a little bit. Jaron, who started in 26, is up to 23rd. He could get it even more still. Look at the run on the inside. Jaron Sanchez is getting here in the Output Racing League number 4 car. Jaron just went from 23rd to 20th in the space of just about 1 corner. And big pack of cars here on the back straight. Got 2 separate little battle packs going on here. We've got the middle pack and then the back pack. This is the back pack. So this is the one that you got to take to school. Here comes Jaron Sanchez following his teammate Brandon Bennett there. As they go 3 wide with TJ Crampton on the outside with fresh tyres. TJ backed out of it. He knows he's got the fresher tyres. All he has to do is be patient and pick them off at the right time. Got the 51 of Travis Elliott in there as well. All TJ's trying to do is to not hit anyone. You can tell that by the way he's driving. He's got the 78 of Brian Pizzicami on his inside now.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, behind me.
So we're going to go back to focusing on crashes. We see the 18 here. Brian Beach in a little bit of no man's land. Running the middle of the track between the two lines there. Justin Botello in the 69, but it's actually the 20. Working the inside. And he's gotten up underneath Brian Beach there. Brian's got the teammate there just behind him in the 99. Here's the 56 of Blake Tarwick as well. Looks like Jabo got a little bit tight there in turn 3 and 4. Washed up the track, lost a little bit of his positions. They'll be spitting about that a little bit. He's up 10 positions. Dustin German, biggest mover of the race so far, from 30th is in 11th. Dustin German, the biggest mover of the race, but he's going to be ineligible for the Hard Charger Award with not putting in a representative time in qualifying. Only the top 19, I do believe, will be eligible for the Hard Charger Award. As we got some more people pitting now. We've got Clayton Ward and Justin Botello coming into the pits. Jerry Glenn has made his pit stop.
Chu is pitting this time by. Chu pitting in this time by.
So as you heard there, the two of Chris Champo's coming into the pits. Gerald West coming into the pits.
34 pitting this time by.
Matt Horton.
99 pit, 99 pit.
Dustin German as well.
90 pitting this time by.
Michael Sturgill. A lot of people pitting this time. Did a 56 of Tarwick. Huge pit entry. That was massive.
34 pitting now.
Looks like he got it slowed up in time. He definitely made some spots there on the pit entry. And this is going to start shaking things up a bit because we're going to have different strategies going on. We've got people coming out of the pits, people going into the pits. This is where things are going to start getting interesting. See Jabo coming back out onto the track just in front of Jordan Lee. And Jabo immediately goes to the outside to have a look outside of Jaron Sanchez there in the 4. Looks like the fresh tyres not all that handy here for Jabo. He did just turn underneath Jaron though.
12 pitting this time. 12 pitting this time.
Gonna have some more people coming into the pits this time with the 12. See some more people coming out of the pits as well. Looks like Justin Botello's just jumped a few people on the pit exit. You see the 3 teammates, the 99, the 18, the 86. See some people pitting as well. The 4 of Jaron Sanchez on the pit lane. Got the 47 there with him, the 7 of Brian Harris. And the 5 of Mark Penticup all coming in together. Matt Burgess pitted just in front of these guys. We go back to the on-track action.
84 pitting.
I've got the 84 of Aspen Belvin coming into the pits, the 16 of Charles Becker. We've had the 88 come in, the 38 Thomas Harmon, Christian Budd, Travis Elliott, Aspen Belvin, Pizzakemi, Travis Massia, they're all coming in now. I think Derek Myers is still out on track. Brandon Miller at the moment is the second place car. Let's go and see 20 of Myers, see whether he's coming in yet or not. He just lets the 88 of Hernandez go past him. He's staying out. Let's see the 22. Where's the 22 at? Looks like he's not going to have the opportunity to pit here, having the 4 and the 47 around him like that. Doesn't look like he was all that interested in pitting either. go back to the 20. See if the 20 will come into the pits. The longer these guys run on their tyres, the harder it's going to be for them to regain their positions here as the 20 now comes into the pits. Our leader Derek Myers into the pits. Let's have a look at the 22 of Brandon Miller. Brandon, usually one of the better guys at tyre saving here in the Output Racing League, unable to get to the pits this time. Balked by the cars coming through to unlap themselves on him. Running that third lane is definitely not going to be helping him trying to make some time up here while he's still got his older tyres. But officially, he hasn't even led a lap yet, so he might be trying to stay out for that. See what he does this time past. Where he's going to pit in this time. Takes a big wide arc into the corner. And in he comes to the pit lane. Oh, he's sideways. Sideways at the pit entry. That is very bad news there for Brandon Miller in the 22 car. Hopefully that's not going to be a unsafe pit entry penalty for him. But for that, we'll just have to wait and see. Alright guys, now that we've had our green flag stops, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue our action here for the Nexus Inspector 160 right here from the Auto Club Speedway. Stay tuned. Alrighty guys, we're back here for the Nexus Inspector 160 from the Auto Club Speedway. Going through just some of the stock cameras here just to see what we got. This is the scenic cameras. We can see some of these cars going through. We've also got static TV cameras here, which I think are really cool. We might have to play around with these if we get a caution. Just listen to that sound of the cars going past the cameras right next to the wall. Absolutely incredible. We go back to our normal pictures now. But Jonathan Hernandez back out in the lead of this race. Jerry Glenn right there on his tail. Derek Myers back a little bit in third. Brandon Miller officially a lap down after his interesting pit entry, we should say. So we've got Jonathan Hernandez, Jerry Glenn, Third place is going to be Derek Myers, who has Chris Champeau and Christopher Spencer right there on his tail. He wouldn't mind having Christopher Spencer there being an SSR teammate. Just behind these guys is going to be the 44 of Clayton Ward with the 69, but on track it's the 20 car there of Justin Botello. Dustin German in the 99 car is in 8th. And 9th and 10th are actually his teammates Brian Beach and Gerald West respectively. And just behind them is the 12 car of Matt Burgess looking to spoil this SSR party. 5 cars in the top 10 are SSR. That's absolutely incredible. You see these guys starting to look like they're going to start battling a little bit harder here. The wind starts to pick up outside my window. All doom and gloom outside here today in Australia. Thunderstorms for days. We're going to go back up to our leader, Jonathan Hernandez. Still holding off Jerry Glenn. Although Jerry looks like he's not having the best of internet connectivity days here. Starting to lose a little bit of ground trying to experiment with those alternate dimensions. Not quite working out for him at the moment. So we're going to set our cameras to focus on crashes right now. See where we're going to end up. Looks like we've got the 90 of Michael Sturgill on stream. In fact, that's just changed back to this battle for 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. '86 of Gerald West. Just giving a little bit of a push there to Dustin German in the 99 car. As these guys are trying to draft away from the 12 and catch up to the cars in front. Just behind them actually, I'm just noticing, is the 50 car of Christian Budd. We haven't heard too much about Christian this race. Besides when he was in those battles in the mid-packs earlier. But he's just on the outside of this top 10 here looking in. And he's been slowly but surely catching up to these 4 guys in front of him. Just like these 4 guys have been slowly but surely catching up to the 44 and the 20. And here goes the 12 of Matt Burgess making a move up on the inside of Brian Beach. Oh, they're close, hard racing there. Just about contact. There probably was contact. Matt Burgess getting a little bit animated there on the radio.
What? I held my line on the outside. You came down. I hope I don't get back.
We have some drama in the race.
Replay. I'm sliding all the way up against the outside wall. You motherfucking liar.
My apologies for the language here. Unfortunately, we can't control the way these guys speak. But that just goes to show the real emotion in this race. Goes to show what these races mean to these drivers.
If you want it, I'm gonna go high. Yeah. Don't give it to J-Bo.
A little bit of banter going on as well now. So that's unfortunate for the 12 of Matt Burgess. We'll just close the radio waves now. If we go back to focusing on these guys just up ahead. Christian Budd just getting around the 99 of Dustin German there. Oh, sorry, the 18 of Brian Beach. My apologies. Because that's the 99 of Dustin German on screen. See the 22 car falling through the field. But he's being very cordial about it, letting guys go. See Thomas Harmon just there in front of Matt Burgess. Matt will be willing him on to get towards the 18 car there. And it looks like we're going to have a change of position. The 99 of Dustin German working the inside of the 44 of Clayton Ward. I said that these guys were starting to catch the 44 quite a bit here, and this just goes to show that I was right. The 86 of Gerald West, not sure where he should go. Looks like he's going to follow his teammate down on the low line. In fact, that is what's going on. The 50 of Christian Budd there, sitting third in line on the bottom. A little bit spooked out there by Gerald West, blinking out. Gerald now stuck in the middle as Christian Budd dived up on his inside. Christian's going to get a 2 for 1 possibly here. Got the 18 pushing him through the corner. Looks like he's trying to pick up the draft off Dustin German. I can confirm that that time Christian Budd did have the position over Gerald West. So he definitely did get that 2 for 1. And now he's just made it official by pulling clear of Gerald. Now he's going to be chasing on the tail of the 99 car of Dustin German. We see Thomas Harmon starting to join this battle as well. He's getting inside the 44 car. What I'm really waiting to see is if the 12 does end up getting back to the 18. Because we already know there's a little bit of bad blood there. Got a little bit of a cluster here now. Thomas Harmon wanted to try and poke his nose up the middle. Didn't quite work out that way. Now the 18 is stuck on the outside. And Thomas Harmon trying to go 3 wide to the inside. Thinks better of it at the time. We're actually going to focus on the 12 here because he's now within striking distance of the 18. Will he do something about that 18 like he said he was going to? We're going to reopen the radio waves here, see if we can hear anything. The 86 of Gerald West going into the pits. But we're focused on the 12 and the 18 right now. Twelve's just following in the footsteps of the 38 of Thomas Harmon. He's up on the inside of Brian Beach. Dustin German's coming into the pits this time. And the 12 of Matt Burgess clears Brian Beach. Nice and clean. Brian Beach now looking to get back to the inside of Matt Burgess. Doesn't get it that time. In fact, he starts looking on the outside going on to the entry of the corner. But Matt Burgess not having any of it.
Right now.
We see now the 50 of Christian Budd on screen. Got a little bit of space here to himself just in front of Thomas Harmon. Then now the 86
34,
Gerald
putting
West
the
going
sign
on the
back.
inside of Michael Sturgill there in a 90 car.
Two pitting in.
Christian Pro, who got to lead a lap there, is coming into the pits. And we'll wait and see how things unfold when they start coming out of the pits again. All the pit strategy is going to make everything very interesting. So we see a lot of cars diving down to the pits. At the 2, the 18, the 48, the 34, the 56, the 4 and the 1.
He put in the sun, bud.
Able this time.
Pitting in this time.
There's a little bit of banter going on in the Twitch chat here as well.
Go ahead, Gabriel.
Thank you.
And then we have the 90, the 84, the 78 and the 13 in the pits. 4 cars left on the lead lap. Christian Budd in the 50, Thomas Harmon in the 38, the 12 of Matt Burgess and the 47 of Jordan Lee. See the 22 of Brandon Miller there sitting on the outside, just letting these guys go past. Jordan Lee's now in the pits, pitting by himself. Didn't want to get caught up in anyone else's mess. Jordan Lee not the best at surviving the pit stop cycles. Ends up getting punted half the time going into the pits. We're still looking at the 12 and the 22 there. Top 3 still staying out on track. I think they're going to try and make this just a 2-stop race. Apparently it hasn't registered that Charles Becker has ever gone for a pit stop. Christian Budd, Thomas Harmon and Matt Burgess trying their best to make things work here. They're starting to get swamped by some of these guys with fresh tyres.
I'm in the middle here, Charles.
If I was them, I'd be trying to find a way down to that low line unless they are trying to make this a 2-stop race. I don't think anyone can make it home from here. But either way, we're going to go to a quick commercial break here, guys. When we come back, well, we'll be still seeing some racing. So make sure you guys stay tuned.
12 pitting this time.
Alright guys, we're back. Welcome back to the Nexus Inspector 160 here from the Auto Club Speedway. We're back into the scenic cameras here. Love hearing these cars going past the scenic cameras. And just this view alone, look at how epic that is. But let's get back into the action now. Still got Jonathan Hernandez in the lead of this race. He's not alone. Jerry Glenn and Derek Myers are now right there with him. Derek Myers, who pitted a lap before these guys, got a little bit of an undercut. Now the race is on in earnest. Big bump there coming from Jerry Glenn to Jonathan Hernandez. Jonathan still holding on to that lead though. Derek Myers looking ever so threatening there just behind him. Justin Botello is a lap down. He must have had issues in his pit stops. I'm hearing now coming through one of the pit reporters, he was speeding in the pits. So that is unfortunate for J-Bo. In the 69 car, 20 on track, 69 in the standings. Down to 27th position after that speeding and pit penalty. And he's not even first car a lap down at the moment. That belongs to Brandon Miller in the 22 car. TJ Crampton is about to go 2 laps down. He's just in front of the leaders here, and we've got a change of position maybe? No, I wasn't looking because I was looking at the standings to see where everyone was at. Oh no, Justin Botello is the first car a lap down. So if we were to get a caution right now, J-Bo would be the one to receive the lucky dog. At the moment, doesn't look like we will be getting a caution anytime soon. These guys have been driving absolutely epically today. Been keeping it all very safe. We're going to reopen the driver radio channel here.
Thank you.
To listen to what the drivers are saying while they race. See if we can get any salt out of them. As we're going to also change who we're viewing. We're going to go focus on crashes to see where it ends up. And it goes to the 4 of Jaron Sanchez, who is in the middle of a bit of a clusterfuck, and that is my 1 for the race. Got Thomas Harmon going around the lap car of Charles Becker as well. We go back to focusing on the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. Got the 90 of Michael Sturgill just behind him, as he's trying to catch up to the 16 of Charles Becker, who's got a little bit of left rear damage there. Not sure how he's gotten that. But that'll definitely be hampering his performance a little bit. Poor Jaron Sanchez had some very slight damage himself there. Just on the right rear. Just a little bit of crinkling, not much. So it shouldn't be hampering him too much. Jaron, after starting in 26, is up to 14th position. So big moves being made here by Jaron to get such a high position at the moment. Our biggest mover of the race is actually the 99 of Dustin German. He started all the way back in 30th, guys, and he is now in the top 6. Looks like they've just gotten around Chris Champeau recently, him and his 2 teammates in front of him. This is all the SSR team. And for those of you Australians who know me, no, this is not SSR as in Synergy Sim Racing. These guys are 4th, 5th, and 6th right now, trying to catch up to our leading 3 drivers, which involves another 2 SSR drivers of Jerry Glenn and Derek Myers. At the moment, things are looking pretty settled for these guys at the moment. The 2 of Chris Champeau looking very racy there, just behind Dustin. We're going to go back to focusing on crashes, and we go back to focusing on the 4 and the 12. Matt Burgess and Jaron Sanchez. There's the 56 of Blake Tarwick, sorry, just in front of them. There's the 18 of Brian Beach just in front of these guys. Here comes the 12. Matt Burgess had a little bit of road rage with the 18 earlier. See whether that will continue when they meet again. But we've just seen the 38 getting very, very close there to the 48.
Down at all.
Oh, and we got a spin.
Good, no contact.
Lake Tarwick has gone around with 10 to go. Safety car is out. Let's back this up a little bit. Have a look at what happened here. Coming out of turn 4. We're going to slow it up. Maybe not yet. Let's slow it up here. He gets high. The 12 comes underneath him and he just gets loose. Comes down and hits Matt Burgess in the 12. Both of them go down to the apron and the grass. Oh, no, Matt Burgess. No, Matt Burgess. Oh, into the end of the pit lane there. That is going to ruin Matt Burgess's race. We're going to mute the driver channel again here. Blake Tarwick in the 56. Stopping on the track because he had no other choice there. And that has brought out the caution. The first caution of this race. So this should affect things quite drastically here. We're not going to go to a commercial break because we're going to try and get an audience here with the 12 of Matt Burgess. Alright, I've got him in the channel. His car is completely off the track. Got everyone coming into the pits, so let's go and have a chat to Matt. Hey Matt, Corey up in the booth, do you have a copy? And I take that as a resounding no. He's actually just left the Discord altogether, not wanting to have a chat. Understandable given what's just unfolded for him there. So we'll see if maybe we can get onto Blake Tarwick instead. Just have a look at how he's doing, see when he's coming out of the pits, then we'll grab him. Car doesn't look too bad though. And it doesn't actually look like Blake is in the Discord server either, so we're actually not going to be able to get a chat with him. But the car is not looking too bad there at all. We go back to rejoin the pack here. Alright, so now that we've gone past pit entry, should be able to have a good idea of where everyone is at. It looks like we're going to get some wave rounds here. We're going to have Jonathan Hernandez starting off the front row, Jerry Glenn out of P2, Derek Myers out of 3rd, Michael Sturgill 4th, Chris Champeau 5th, Dustin German will be P6, Christopher Spencer 7th, Christian Budd 8th, Gerald West 9th, and the 48 of Cosman will be out of 10th here on the restart. And the lucky dog was Justin Botello. But everyone else trying to get the wave around here to gain the advantage of the caution, because we're only going to have a few laps left to run, which means the chances of then going back to being a lap down is quite small. I'm just a little bit sad that we got snubbed there by Matt Burgess. As I said, completely understandable considering the circumstances. So as we cross the line now, we should have 6 to go, which means we're going to have 5 laps left in this race when we get the green flag. We're on lap 75 of 80, so when we get the green flag, we will have 5 laps left in this race. And if we get another caution before the white flag flies, then we will have our first attempt at a green-white checker. We only get 2 attempts. So it's up to the drivers. Now, as I said at the very start of this race, the first start is on green. All the restarts after that are on the leader. So Jonathan Hernandez will have control of this race from the pole position. He also gets lane choice. Looks like he's chosen the inside lane. As this should be a fast and frenetic final 5 laps. I could have thought of a couple more F words to put into that, but they were not the nice kind. And I've already used my one for the broadcast. The pace car goes in. And we're off and racing now.
Go. Green flag.
Jonathan Hernandez with the advantage on the restart. Looks like it wasn't actually all that advantageous, although he does clear the second place car there of Jerry Glenn on the outside. And this is where things should start to get a little bit squirrely here as we work our way through turn 2. Everyone's on fresh cold tyres. We've got 4 wide in the back of the pack, if you don't mind. I saw Blake Tarwick up in that action. Jonathan Hernandez still holding on to the lead at the moment, but it looks like on the inside, here comes Derek Myers and the 98 of Jerry Glenn, the 2 teammates for SSR. Oh, as we had some contact in the background there. I think that was the 86 of Gerald West. Everyone going to the inside lane to avoid him like the plague, and we've got the safety car out again. I'm not sure what's happened here, but we are going to have to find out. And it looks like the 56 of Blake Tarwick involved again. Forward Jaron Sanchez got the wall. Big checkups in front of Blake. Looks like he's on the brakes and loose. And does he lose it all by himself? Yeah, he just lost it all by himself. Got into the wall there. Oh, and he comes back down the track. Just got a tap there from Brian Beach. Brandon Miller goes to the inside to avoid the 5 of Mark. Oh, no, Brandon Miller smashes him. 5 of Mark Pentecoff just squeaking through there on the outside. And I think that's going to be the end of the race here for one of our rookies who's actually been doing very well for himself. Got a hard charger last week, and I'm pretty sure it was him who got the podium at Daytona. But I damn near say that is going to be the end of Blake Tarwick's race here today. Although he is still on track, so maybe he's just going to strive on with the damage. But going back up to the front now, we did have a change for position before that caution came out. Jerry Glenn is now the leader of the race. But Jonathan Hernandez will be starting from P2. Derek Myers third, Michael Sturgill fourth, Chris Champo fifth, Christopher Spencer P6, Christian Budd seventh, Thomas Harmon eighth, the 48 of Cosman in ninth, and the 34 of Matt Horton will be starting out of 10th. Now, as I said, we're going to have a green-white checker here. If a caution was to come out on the first lap of this green-white checker, because it goes green, then white, then checker. On this first lap, if we get a caution, we will have our second attempt at a green-white checker. And the second attempt is the final attempt that we will possibly have at getting this race finished under green. If a caution was to come out in that second green-white checkered finish, then we will be finishing under caution. So this is definitely going to be a very interesting end of the race here for the Nexus Inspector 160 here at Auto Club Speedway. We should be getting ready to get the one to go signal very shortly. Everyone is on the lead lap except for Dustin German, Clayton Ward and Matt Burgess. Charles Becker's in the pits, almost going a lap down here, but it looks like he's just going to get out in time. Looks like we're starting to form up, so I think we're going to get the one to go this time. And not quite yet. This must be the two to go now. It's got to be the two to go. As now it looks like this is going to be an 83 lap race. It looks like the war lines have been drawn. Let's just keep an eye on the pace car here. And we're on one to green. The lights are out on the pace car and around the track. I think we might do something a little bit funny here. We're going to go to the gearbox camera on the back of the 98 car. Look out from the back of our pole sitter. Here for the green white checker. Very slow pace as we're coming around the back straight. Be a little bit of a Tasmanian devil there on the back of the Jonathan Hernandez car. Base a little bit cut off by the wheel well. As now Jerry gets into the gear that he wants to start the race in. Still got a big field of cars behind. The pace car will be on his way in. And we're off and racing. Early jump here for Jerry Glenn.
Go, go, go. Green flag.
And he's got himself a big lead at the moment. Looks like Jonathan Hernandez is going to lose out to third to the 90 car of Michael Sturgill. Everything's looking clear at the moment. Let's go to the TV dynamic cameras. We're in the helicopter looking from above. Got the 101 coming up, and we got another caution. Caution is out again. Let's go and see what happened this time. And we see the 22 of Brandon Miller. There's the 84, the 5. I think that's the 48 as well. Let's see what's happened to the 22 here. There's the 5. Oh, and this has started quite early. See the 48 there, already around on the track. So let's back this up again. Ah, that tells a bigger story of what's going on here. So the 48 stuck here on the outside. He's getting loose quite early there in the corner. Straightens up just before he hits Brandon Bennett. Gets loose again. All the way down to the inside of the track. Like he's just about got it sorted there. And then it just snaps on him. Goes up the track. Oh, big hit there. Not sure who that was that hit him. And now I do. It was the 84. Oh, the 84 came down and got Mark Pentecoff. He went down and collected the 22 of Brandon Miller. Everyone else looking like they've gotten through that unscathed. Brandon Miller, look at the air time there for the 22 car. That is easily more than a metric ton of car flying through the air. Just hope that Brandon Miller there is okay. Looks like he drives off the scene. So things should be alright. So now the tail of the tape for the top 10 is Jerry Glenn, followed by Derek Myers with Jonathan Hernandez, Michael Sturgill, Christopher Spencer, Thomas Harmon, Chris Champo, Christian Budd, Matt Horton, and Justin Botello made his way up to P10. This will be our final attempt at a green-white checker finish. We're already in overtime. We're almost 10 laps over overtime right now. I think this is actually the first time in Output Racing League history that we've gone to the second overtime. The second attempt at the green-white checker. But no matter what happens after we get the green, the next flag ends the race. Whether it is white or checkered, the next flag will end the race. So let's go and see if we can bring someone into the chat here. 19 to 22 of Brandon Miller. And we might bring him into the chat because I don't think he's going to be getting that car back out on track. Hey Brandon, Corey up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Hey Corey, how's it going?
Not too bad, mate. A little bit of a hard crash there for you, getting at least 5 foot in the air. First of all, how are you feeling, mate? Are you alright after that big impact?
Yeah, no, I'll make a recovery.
Alright, mate. Now, let us know here at home what happened from your perspective there, because that looked like it all unfolded pretty damn quick in front of you.
I didn't have a real clear view of it. I saw somebody wiggling up front. I tried to slow down and avoid it, and I thought that I got through it, and then the 84 car, I think, bounced off somebody, and I got into him.
Oh, that is unfortunate indeed. Looked like it was just a unfortunate set of domino circumstances that happened there towards the end.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what happens. Somebody hit somebody, and it just trickled on down to the back of the pack.
Alright, man. Well, before we let you go back to talk with everyone else, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to here tonight?
Give a shout out to Jaron and the Drivers Council, ORL, for putting on the league. Yourself for hosting this and commentating every week. And Miller's Creature Comforts, Golden Chinchillas. And I think that's about everybody.
Alright, awesome. Well, thank you very much. Hopefully, we see you have a better result next week, Creepy.
Much appreciated, man. Thanks.
Alright, guys, so that was a 22 of Brandon Creepy Van Miller. He is also a Twitch streamer. You can go find him at twitch.tv/getinmycreepyvan. I don't actually think he's streaming this race, but when he does stream, it is pretty entertaining. So here we go, guys. We're going green this time. Jerry Glenn, Derek Myers, Jonathan Hernandez, Michael Sturgill, Christopher Spencer, Thomas Harmon, Chris Champo, Christian Budd, Matt Horton, and Justin Botello, your top 10. This is the last attempt that we're going to have to finish this race under green. The leader is starting to blink. The pace car goes to the pit lane. And we're off and racing now. Jerry Glenn with a big jump, trying to encourage his teammate to come down low to follow him. But it looks like that's not going to be the case. He's going to go up high and help his teammate out instead. Thomas Harmon forcing his way up to the 5th position there. Just in behind Jonathan Hernandez in the 88. Giving Jonathan a big push to try and take the 2nd place away from Derek Myers. It's all going to be on Jerry here to pick the right lane to block. And it looks like Derek Myers on the outside is going to take the advantage going into turn 3 over Jonathan. But Jonathan on that inside line is looking menacing. And he's actually gotten Jerry Glenn out past Derek. And now he's going to get 2nd place as well. As we come to the start-finish line, white flag, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it for Jerry Glenn. And now Thomas Harmon trying to sneak his nose up on the inside of Jonathan Hernandez. Didn't quite work out that way though. And our leader has blinked out again. So we're going to go to someone more stable to watch the end of this race. We can see the 88 there of Jonathan Hernandez is the guy we picked. 4 wide just behind these guys. The 38, Thomas Harmon, looking to the low side of Jonathan Hernandez right now. We're just about going to go 3 wide here, coming through turns 3 and 4. Jonathan on the outside of Thomas Harmon, trying to hold on to P2. Can he do it? It looks like he can as we come towards the line. And the winner for the first time in the Apple Racing League, the 98 of Jerry Glenn. P2 to Jonathan Hernandez, and 3rd place goes to Thomas Harmon as we've got a wreck happening in the background here after the race is said and done. I'm not sure who that was. I think that might have been Jabo in the 20 car. Worked his way up to P6. So guys, that was an incredible finish to this race. Absolutely amazing. we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have some driver interviews, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty guys, we are back and we're kicking things off with the Speedway Memes Hard Charger Award. And today's hard charger for the Nexus Inspector 160 here at the Auto Club Speedway A little bit of a surprise, but he gained 12 positions. Started down in some bumhole position right towards the back and ended up finishing. Oh, geez, I can't even find your name now.
I think it was 7th is what I ended up getting.
It was indeed. Started in 19th, finishing in P7. We're talking to the 90 car of Michael Sturgill. I hope
How's it
I've
going?
not been butchering your name, man.
It's pronounced actually Sturgill, but
Sturgill?
don't feel bad. Everyone does it.
Alright, well, at least I know now. So, I won't butcher it in the future. But,
Right.
mate, great race by you all in all. A bit of a surprising race here. Green flag almost the entire way with a couple of green-white checkers there at the end. What was the race like for you, especially in those last few laps with having so many cautions come out?
It was actually kind of just mediocre there for a while until that first caution came out. I was running I think around 15th or so, and the guy I have spotting for me, Billy, actually told me, he was like, just we'll do right sides and we'll gain a bunch of spots and you should be able to drive it. So we did just right sides and we came out from the pits 4th. Um, the first couple of restarts, it seemed like the top 4 or 5 got a huge jump on the rest of the pack, and I was hoping I'd go green and finish top 5. That final restart was really weird. Going into the 3 and 4, I got really tight, which hadn't happened the previous restart, so I slipped up a little bit and lost a couple spots, but I can't complain coming from 19th and finishing 7th. That'll work.
Oh, we had you on camera a few times in this race, and you were there or thereabouts with some of the fast guys who were trying to make their way through the pack. What was it like, having the SSR boys and Thomas Harmon and even Jabo racing around you, and you staying with them and being pretty competitive with them?
Yeah, I've actually I've raced Jabo a lot, just in like official races, but this is my only second race with the output guys, so I'm just trying to get a feel for who's fast and who knows how to get through traffic, and a lot of the time I was really trying to not figure out the track. I figured the track out in practice for the most part, but I haven't ran a race at this track yet this week and the officials, so I was trying to kind of not tear up my tires, and figured I'd grab a hold of a couple of the fast guys and just kind of hang out with them, and hopefully it would put us in a good spot.
All right, man. Well, while we got you up here in the booth, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Jared and everyone that puts on the league. My buddy Randy, he does all my paint work for me, and you guys for broadcasting this. That's awesome.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you very much, man. Congratulations on your hard charger award. Definitely hard fought today, and very close to not getting it at all.
Right.
And good luck for next week when we go to ISM.
Yeah, that should be a fun one. I'm usually pretty decent there, so hopefully I'll be talking to you again next week.
Oh, we can only hope, mate. We look forward to seeing it.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, guys. So that was a 90 of Michael Sturgill. Coming up next, we're gonna have our third place getter today. We're used to talking to him, and we're used to talking to him in a top 3 aspect, and I'm glad that we get to talk to him in it again. Last year's champion, we're talking to the 38 of Thomas Harmon. Thomas, one hell of a race here today. You chose not to qualify, which is a little bit different for you here today.
Yeah, I've decided this year I think I'll just start in the back as much as I can and try to race around and with everybody and just have fun. It's last year between the multiple leagues, it was not fun qualifying up front, trying to stay there and not really getting to pass anybody with these cars, or get passed by anybody for that matter. But I figure I'll come out starting the back this year. If I pass everybody or somebody, great. If they pass me or hold me off, that's just the same. Let's have fun.
All right, man. Now, there was a little bit of drama there in the middle of the race between the 18 and the 12, and you were right there behind it. What was that like from your perspective? And were you expecting a little bit of fallout to happen from that contact that they had?
It was quite nerve-wracking. I really wasn't paying attention to see what happened to start it. But when I got sandwiched between the two, once Christian got by the 18, I was kind of worried and hoped that they would keep it in check. I expected that they would, since they've both been in the league forever, and I don't think that they've ever had an issue before. So I was hoping hoping they would keep it together. Figured they would, but still nervous nonetheless, considering the random flare that happened there.
All right, now let's go and focus on the end of the race here. You were just a little bit behind when that first caution came out. So, what was it like for you having the stop start of the two green white checkers there right at the very end?
I probably would have been mired back in about 15th if not for those green white checkers. But getting me caught back up with everybody, learning what I did on that first run gave me a chance to capitalize on it. And as bad as green white checkers are, they definitely helped me out, and I was thanking them today.
Well, we saw a really aggressive move from you on that last restart. You were restarting P6, and you somehow just squeezed your way up into that fifth position with almost no room to spare. Was that planned, or was that just a heat of the moment kind of a thing?
That was a heat of the moment kind of thing. I know I got a good jump on I don't know, it was a 101 on the inside, and I was hoping I'd have him clear into one. And in my mirror, he looked clear but not clear, and so I just slowly moved down. At least it felt slowly. It might have been quick. I don't know, but I just kind of eased my way down in there, and I got a 0x, but it didn't turn my car or get me any unsettled in any way, shape, or form. But when it stuck and they gave me the room, I just took off with it. Prayed that I got a top 3 out of it.
All right, man. Well, while we got you up here in the booth, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to you up in the booth, broadcasting it to all the fans out there. All the fans that come out and watch every week and cheer on their favorite driver, regardless of who it is. Um, all the admins and competitors that come out every week and um, put this league on and make it fun to run in and fun to race in and competitive at that. And Jerry for getting a win. Glad to see him get something, especially after Daytona. And then Avril for being on the hood.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much for coming out and racing with us. Congratulations on P3. Was definitely a hard-fought podium for you today.
Yes, it was. Thank you, sir.
All right, guys. So that was returning champion, the 38 of Thomas Harmon in P3 today. Coming up next, we are going to be talking to our second place getter today. He went from the pole, didn't really lose touch with the lead the whole race, just got unlucky with the way that the cautions fell. But nevertheless, he still got second place. We're of course talking to the 88 of Mr. Jonathan Hernandez. Jonathan, how's it going, man? Great race by you, great qualifying effort, and you were there or thereabouts for literally the entire race.
Oh yeah, the race went pretty much as planned. To stay up front, I really surprised myself qualifying. Actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. I did surprise myself the fact that I was the only person in the 42nd rank. That means something else. That means I have speed that I just didn't know I had. But yeah, the race went as expected. Stayed up front towards the end, and me and Jerry decided to work with me about halfway. So he would usually stay behind me, and I kept telling him, I was like, well, if we get towards the end of the race, I do want you to race me. I don't want to be pushed. I really want to earn for it. And then like you said, those cautions untimely, but it is what it is with this package here. You're gonna have close racing, and towards the end on the white flag, I made a decision on myself that I would try to help Jerry get his first win in the league ever. He's been here, I think, since the beginning. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try to help him get his first win. And since he helped me throughout the race, what a better way to help him back. And it luckily turned out the way it did. With him winning, I got second. Good points day, especially after Daytona not going so well and redeeming myself last week also.
Yeah, indeed, man. The first win for Jerry, absolutely incredible feat. And I'm glad that we got this on film because no one would believe it otherwise.
Oh yeah, and I was talking to him after the race, and I told him uh, I was gonna help him throughout the win. He told me, he's like, "Oh, you didn't have to." I was like, "Hey, he helped me throughout the race. I know he's been here longer than I have. I know I'm gonna win races this year, but for him to get a win right off the bat, it does mean something good to me. It means that that this year will probably be one intense season, especially how fast he was. I know sometimes he has bad luck, and the fact he's able to turn around this race, and same here with me with some new sponsorships and team. What better way to kick off than a podium finish?
That's exactly right, mate. And speaking of your sponsors and your team, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, of course. Our new team, me and Brian, are one sim, and then our sponsors, Rogue Energy, Mountain Dew, Liquid Death, Mountain Water, and then everyone back over there. I know I've been practicing for this track for a while, just on the open side, and luckily it paid off here. And I'm ready for next week at ISM. Hopefully, with the new package there, I know it's going to provide interesting racing. So we'll just wait and see.
That's exactly right. We can only hope. Well, congratulations on your podium, Jonathan. We look forward to seeing what you can do next week at ISM.
All right, thank you, Corey. I appreciate your broadcast also.
All right, guys, so that was our second place getter today, Jonathan Hernandez in the 88. Starting on pole, and that surprised him a bit, but that's all right. Because coming up next, we've got the man of the moment. I'm so glad that we finally get to talk to him in this position. We're talking to our winner today, the 98 of Jerry Glenn. Jerry, holy shit, man. Congratulations on finally, after all these years, breaking through and getting a win here.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. What a better way to get on the podium than first place, so I couldn't better finish.
Oh, it's been quite the interesting race for you. You started back in 12th, and you managed to work your way through and get right up there towards the front. I know that you had a couple of guys around that you usually work pretty well with, and they helped you get up towards the front there. What was it like for you working your way through, and then especially with those final cautions, just getting the advantage over Jonathan there?
Yeah, race there where I started back in 12th. I don't know what happened there at the beginning, but it looked like a couple of cars got together, and the front half of the field there checked up a little bit, and we'll squeeze by the issues, and I moved up to, I don't know, fourth or fifth really quickly, and then just kind of held in the draft there and kind of picked them off one at a time. And at the end there, like you said, front to be able to start when you wanted to, and drafting with Jonathan there helped out a ton, and he was committed to me there. It wasn't him enough. Feels good to get my first win.
And what an incredible track to do it at too. The Auto Club Speedway, not one of my favorites, but definitely up there as far as the 1.5-mile tracks go for fun and excitement. I was honestly expecting more cautions throughout the race. So the fact that we went green flag for so long was definitely very entertaining to watch, especially with all the strategy that you guys were starting to pull out.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I thought we might have a few more cautions there, but once we got spread out, I mean, everybody was patient and just trying to, run it out and let it play out. Jonathan, like I said, worked together. I just was content to draft with him there most of the race, and then we pitted either the same lap or the lap after and kind of tried to stay together. And at one point, you could see we separated Derek there by, I don't know, right around 5 seconds, and he started cutting into us, and then he short pitted it, and we had to pit the next lap to maintain there, and it worked out.
It worked out, it did, man. Like that move that you made on Jonathan when that first caution came out was just such lucky timing that, sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good, and you definitely got lucky when that caution came out.
Yeah, I did, and on that restart there, I got a little bit of a run, and Derek chose to get behind me instead of Jonathan, and that would get me past him to there and finish there.
All right, man. Well, while we got you up here in the booth, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Well, of course, you guys for putting on the broadcast, Jaron for putting on this league. This is one of the best leagues that I run in. I hate that it's so late in the evening for me, but we run more green flag laps here than any other league that I race in. And BK paints on my car. He does a great job of painting. Anybody interested, the guy does excellent work.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on finally breaking through for your first win. I hope you absolutely revel in the spoils of victory. We look forward to seeing how well you can do next week at ISM Speedway.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Like I say, I just really enjoy racing with these guys. A lot of fun. Most of them are, good, clean racers, and most of the time it puts on a good show. So I really enjoy it, and thank you again for putting on the broadcast.
It's no problem at all, man. This is what I'm paid to do.
I hear you.
All right, guys. So that was our winner tonight, the 98 of Jerry Glenn, finally breaking through for his first win. Make sure if you guys see him out on track this week, you give him a big congratulations because he has worked so hard to get this win. He's been working at it for so long. He's one of the original members of the Output Racing League. So that's definitely something there that you got to put into perspective. Anyway, guys, this is going to wrap up our broadcast here. Thank you guys for coming out. You guys have absolutely smashed it with followers here over on the Twitch side of things. There will be a replay available tomorrow morning over on the Aussie Sim Commentator YouTube channel. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. Unfortunately, no replay on my personal Twitch. I'm not going to be home. I'm going on a little trip away to look after my sister's house for a few days. So I'm not going to be home. And the YouTube video will be up 7 o'clock my tomorrow morning, which will be, I think that's about 6 o'clock Eastern in the evening. So make sure you guys keep an eye out on the YouTube for that. Thank you guys again for coming out and having a watch. And we look forward to seeing you guys all next week at the ISM Raceway in Arizona.